BB in the left, upper left.
It's gonna be in the shape of a chicken nugget
near the clavicle.
Sports Illustrated in the right, and then number one for the number one podcast.
That's right. Number one in the world, right? I believe.
Eat a fat one. I want to see a big fat one.
What? I'm not on the screen, so I don't know who he's talking to. I'm not on the screen. I'm looking at other things.
I don't know what just happened.
Hey,
I said something inappropriate under my breath.
It was not under your breath. It was very much not under your breath.
Well, I heard eat a fat one, so I don't know who that was to. I don't know if it's something I said. I never know. I never know.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Mann. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by No Game Day. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, a.k.a. E-Dub, in the house. So we're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by No Game Day. Go Live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by No Game Day. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, presented to you by No Game Day.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. SSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What is happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from Hear the Spear, presented to you by NoleGameDay.com. We are here on a wonderful Thursday evening. The crew is all together. Austin is beyond depressed today, but just like Nate opened up earlier in the production meeting, said that the stars are aligning. Basketball's having a rough time. Maybe it's time for football to take their turn. With me this evening is Dustin Lewis, our lead writer and editor. We've got Austin Veazey down there holding on by a thread. Looks rough. And then we've got Nate Greer, all smiles today, lead recruiting insider. Gentlemen, how are we doing? We're getting closer to spring. We have a spring football practice date. Things are going. We're here. We're getting close. We have something. We have a countdown now. We actually have something to look forward to.
The alignment of the stars is getting me very excited for Nole football here pretty soon, man. I can't wait.
What are you snacking on down there, Austin?
I got pizza.
Russian food.
Pizza. Yeah.
So,
and I got the biggest glass of chocolate milk possible.
So I'm wondering if we should really just start planning on applying for credentials for the playoff. I mean, should we just start letting that up now, or what? Should we wait till mid-season, or
first quarter to see? See, after 3 games, let's see. Maybe after our trip to Louisiana as a family.
Or how about halftime of Duquesne?
That's the way to do it right there.
As long as FSU is winning.
Because, but I would say after the first basketball game, we all thought Elite 8, Sweet 16, and now look at it, they lost 5 in a row. They lost to freaking Pitt at home.
You don't have to remind me. It's between that and the Dallas Mavericks doing whatever they did today. It's been a rough week.
Yeah, I was about to say
you got Spencer Dinwiddie.
Okay, great. We got a guy that we can pay in Bitcoin. Congrats.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted.
Might end up being a cheaper deal, with the
I will say though, Austin, I logged in after doing some work, and I saw that you mentioned like Scotty Barnes. I'm like, you trading Scotty Barnes?
No.
So I had to Google it. I think I'm like, there's no way they're fucking getting rid of him right now.
Well,
no way.
They're talking about a trade for Dragic. I'm like, they're not going to do it unless they get, some good back in return.
Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, I'm not here for the NBA talk. I'm just putting it out there because I have zero.
Listen,
clue
I need something to cheer me
what's
up.
going on. I know. Well, we're going to cheer you up because we've got some football to talk about. There's recruiting to talk about too.
You have spring football coming up. You have
20 minutes.
Big recruiting weekend.
You have the climb.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready to climb?
I've also got cheese stuffed crust pizza right here. So
hey, if you want to get on my back and climb with me, man, we'll do some recruiting updates together, man. Like, it's a new day for you, man.
Well, on the there's
Join
a
the
new
dark
day.
side, Austin.
Yeah.
Should I go put that shirt on? I have that same shirt as Austin. I should go put it on.
I love this shirt.
It's so comfortable, dude.
I love it. It's so nice.
Well, we've got quite a bit.
No, they shouldn't be worried about Miami's coaches. So you have a retread defensive coordinator who hasn't been good in the last 10 years, who's blown up every program he's been in the last 3 times. You have an offensive coordinator who was kicked out of his last school. Okay. I will say the offensive line coach is pretty good.
He's short, though.
Yeah, he is short, though. Yeah.
They take a coach from Georgia who, by all accounts, was asked to leave. So, and then they just hired a guy who was part of Manny's staff at FIU, where he got fired from. So let's just relax on all the Miami Hurricane banter of the coaching staff. It's not great. You have a defensive coordinator who was jack shit since 2012.
Yeah, I do like the Miami fan base going crazy this week. They get their offseason championship for sure.
17th in a row.
Yep, they're doing a fantastic job at that.
Yeah, man. I mean, you hire an offensive coordinator in Gaddis who, after we hear how great Van Dyke is and he's the next great quarterback, but you hire an offensive coordinator that likes to run the ball. Miami's offensive line is horrible. Their running game vastly underproduced last year. But let's hire an offensive coordinator that's going to take the ball out of the quote unquote next great quarterback of college football. Let's see how that works out. It's going to work out swimmingly for me. I think I'm going to bump my projection up to 95-1.
Yeah, that helps you out quite a bit.
95-1. That's my.
How do they get that 1 point? That's my question.
Legally,
I mean,
in the second half, they're going to run Canadian football rules, so where they get a point for a punt.
No, isn't there an extra point safety?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. That's how they get their 1 point.
I got you.
Well, with us on the docket this evening, we've got newcomer interviews. Those are all wrapped up. We'll go over those. Custom jerseys now. Custom jerseys. New locker room. We'll get a quick look at that. We'll put it up on the stream. We'll bring up a little bit of the new hires, 4 new ones this week. Working a lot off the field. We'll talk about spring practice. We actually have some dates now, so we'll look a little bit ahead. We'll do a few teases the next couple of weeks until we really start diving into things, but we'll bring up a few topics to go over. And then we got some stuff about NFL Combine with Jermaine Johnson and Deshaun Corbin being invited. And no Keir Thomas. We'll probably discuss that. And then at the end of it all, we got to talk about basketball. Austin's favorite topic right now. He wants to deep dive into that for about 30 minutes. So we're going to let him be here by himself and go over that on his own. So it looks to be a really
clock
fun,
counting down to make sure he does all 30 minutes.
Yeah, he has to do all 30. So
no, he doesn't.
He's looking forward to it. As always,
my own death right now.
Yeah, I know you're struggling. As always, you listen to podcasts on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube right now. I'm sorry I didn't put up this YouTube video earlier today where y'all could remind yourselves, but we already got 40 people watching right now. So hit that like button before you leave. Hit that subscribe button and comment. Communicate with us tonight. It's a rather slow week, so if you have any questions or topics for us to talk about, please feel free to throw it in the comment section this evening. Let's start off with the newcomers. Today we had a few interviews, one of them being Bishop Thomas, who I think Florida State fans are going to like a lot of. I put a tweet out about him after his interview today. I think he's probably going to be the most interesting player to get to know during his tenure here at Florida State. He's got a whole different variety of things. He said that when he had a break from playing football this last season, he got into reading books, and he didn't know that he would really actually like them, and he was naming out books left and right. And he talked about that he likes skateboarding. He likes old school music. Led Zeppelin. He said one of his favorite shirts is a Led Zeppelin shirt. So the old school fans are definitely going to like him a lot. He just has that kind of vibe. And I can't wait for more people to actually see him do interviews, because that was just confined with just media. But
he's kind of a free spirit.
Yeah, whenever we get a chance to be at a practice after, when we get to talk to him, he's definitely very entertaining. But he said that he's looking to put on some pounds too, and Coach Storms has been phenomenal with helping him get stronger and faster. But I thought Bishop Thomas, probably one of my favorite interviews, because all the newcomer interviews wrapped up for the season. So we've gotten to know everybody so far. And usually the newcomers are a little quiet, and they definitely were. But Bishop Thomas just kind of looked like he had been here for a little while, and he was pretty relaxed with the media and fun guy. He's got a lot of cool things that I think FSU fans will like about him.
Now, what books are we talking about? You said he was throwing out books left and right. What selection?
I've got to go. I don't want to misquote him on anything, but it was about like some law stuff in there.
Give me one book title.
Okay, book title. I'm reading the Gary Vaynerchuk piece right now. 13 Reasons Why.
Thomas read, dude.
I don't know. We'll go look at the VOD. Go back and we'll have to record these interviews so you guys can see it. But
I just follow your awesome tweets. That's what
I know. My awesome tweets. I know they are incredible, aren't they? But then he also mentioned too, like I said, he's trying to get bigger in the weight room. He says, or this is actually Daniel Lyons. We got to hear from Daniel Lyons too, 2 defensive tackles today. He talked about Coach Storms. He said that he's gotten a lot stronger and faster since arriving. And he's hoping that since he's getting in the weight room a lot, he wants to try to contribute early on. And he also said he smiled, he laughed. He was a little nervous at first in the interview, but he laughed and smiled and said, I want to play nose tackle so I can get double teamed from a majority of games. So he's looking to take on some competition. We also got to hear from defensive end Dante Anderson. And really the biggest thing that he mentioned throughout his interview was that tour of duty is a whole lot different than high school. That's what a lot of the new guys have been saying. And from things that we've heard and stuff like that, it's definitely a wake-up call, not only for these freshmen coming in, but these transfers have been saying a lot of things about how rough it is and getting used to it from being at a previous program and coming into Tallahassee. Coach Storms, I mean, it is no game. And it's not even just Coach Storms, the guys that are around him that are developing these players. Like it is no joke. These early mornings, that's not even the hardest part. It's really what you're going through in those drills.
Yeah, and we've heard it from, like you said, a ton of different transfers and recruits about how tough tour of duty is, and it's harder than what they were expecting, and that they're already beginning to put on weight and muscle, and they've already seen improvements since things began. And one guy that mentioned that the other day, Logan, Daughtry Richardson, I know he got to speak on Tuesday, and you really liked what you heard from him.
Yeah, no, I did. He's a guy, I know Dustin had a really close relationship during his recruitment there, and just a down-to-earth kid. I think he's going to be one that, will get into the fold later in his career at Florida State, but he'll be developed, and he understands that. He was joking around and saying, I'm not expecting myself to jump into a room full of grown men right away, those 5 guys, but I am going to try to develop and learn. And just seemed like a down-to-earth kid, and I'd try to pull for those guys, and he's definitely going to get his shot. But he did mention once again, a lot of these guys just saying Coach Storms and the game plans that he has. They've got a book that's setting them up goal every week on what they're gaining, what they're losing. But for majority of these guys, definitely Richardson, he's looking to put on pounds. He said he wants to put on 10 pounds. By the beginning of spring practice, and he said things are going successful there. But Daughtry Richardson, another really, really solid interview this week by a newcomer.
Not for nothing, too. This is the first time a lot of these guys have had a lot of structure in the weight room and with nutrition, routines. So that's kind of why you see a lot of them have a lot of positive weight gains pretty quickly, because it's the first time they've really had. Yeah, they have a weight program with the coaches and everything in high school, but it's different when you get into that college level. And then you add the nutrition and the recovery and all that kind of stuff. It allows you to hit it harder and to see those gains a lot quicker. So
I meant to say Richardson, he came in at 285 and he's looking to get to 300. So he's wanting to gain 15 pounds. So that's impressive. Definitely if it's good weight, that's definitely for just jumping into the spring. And starting off, and then you get the whole summer ahead. That's definitely a good sign there. There's a question here from Carol. I'll get to that in just a second. I want to go over a couple more interviews. We got to hear from running back Rodney Hill, which, Dustin, you were communicative and had a relationship with him during his recruitment to Florida State. And, he talked about why he picked Florida State, why he stuck with them throughout his recruitment. He said, he just felt like Mike Norvell and the staff has it heading in the right direction. He said it's heading in the right direction. The work is going to show on the field. He mentioned that Lawrence Toafili and walk-on running back CJ Campbell have helped him understand the playbook so far.
Remember that name?
Yeah, CJ Campbell. could be another Ward kind of situation there. And then we got to hear from Brian Courtney, who, a lot of the beat was asking him on, which position is the staff putting you at. He said that he's coming in, solidifying himself as a tight end. But he did say, during the installs with the staff and Coach Thompson, they're moving him around a lot all over the offensive side. So his pure position is going to be tight end. But just because of his skill set, there's a lot of excitement from what I've heard from inside the program about his ability to be able to toy with him and put him in different places on the field on the offensive side of the ball. But he said he's definitely going to be starting at tight end to begin spring. And then we already talked about Daughtry and Rodney. So that's kind of wraps up all of the newcomers. Now it's set on getting to the spring. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But there's a question here from Carol asking, good evening. I was wondering about the walk-on recently signed quarterback. I have not heard much news on him or info on him. Do you know anything about him? Nate, this is your guy here that you could probably give some good explanation on.
So Dylan McNamara, he's from Naples, Bear and Collier. After his first year, he did transfer over to St. Thomas Aquinas and participated with them. His sophomore year, came back to Naples, came back home. During the COVID year, he led 6A in passing, shortened season. Number one guy in 6A for Florida in terms of yardage. Led Barron Collier to the playoffs in the first. If you're familiar with Southwest Florida, they beat Fort Myers for the first time in the playoffs, which was a really huge thing for them. They took a little bit of a step back this year, but the kid, like 6'3", 200 pounds, is really, really good in the vertical passing game. Has really good touch on the ball. Had an offer from FIU in Campbell. So he had a couple, low division offers, and then he had one from FIU from a group of 5. Decided to choose FSU. We've been working to get with him to get a more thorough update, but he's a good quality walk-on quarterback that can, be a developmental guy. Can, as I said in the article, and I posted to someone on Facebook who was kind of complaining about us writing about walk-ons. The goal is not to spotlight, missed recruits. The goal of this is to, no matter what FSU's done, they've always done a good job of bringing in some walk-ons. And it's to continue to pinpoint that Coach Norvell and his staff have done a really good job of bringing guys in from the preferred walk-on route. And all that does is make practices more competitive. All it does is lift the floor of the talent of the room. Not all these guys who prefer walk-ons are going to be leaned on, but you can still find, like this Alex Williams kid who, was committed to Vanderbilt as a linebacker, was the state champion weightlifter, plays baseball, ran for 3,800 yards in his career, 50 touchdowns. So it's possible to get really good kids that route. So, back to McNamara. He plays in a kind of a basic high school offense, but we're working on getting more with him. So it's a good take.
Yeah, and I kind of don't agree with so many people that don't. I mean, we understand preferred walk-on material kind of stuff, but I mean, you look at your guy Trayshawn Ward, who's going to be RB1 next year. That was a walk-on. I mean, that's a guy who was electric last year. We heard a lot of good things about him while he was a walk-on before he earned the scholarship, but it's cool to kind of look and get a feel for what is coming into the program. And like you mentioned, Nate, we've had numerous former 2013 national champions come on here and say the biggest thing that led them to get into that national championship was the competition that happened during practices. We've had Lowe's talk about Telvin Smith going at it with walk-ons, but just because of how competitive it was and they were bringing the heat and different drills all throughout the day for hours on end, that led to so much success to where it helped them in a huge way on Saturdays. So, that's why I don't really, and plus it is February, guys. You got to let us put out some damn content, please. What else can we talk about? It's a little dry right now. It's a little dry.
Well, I just think, every player deserves to have their story heard, whether it's a walk-on or a guy coming in on a scholarship. Regardless, you have to think these guys are 17, 18 years old and accomplishing that dream of going on to play at the college level. And I mean, even if this guy's just a practice player for 4 years, this is still a huge step in his life and his career to get to that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was some
correct.
news.
These kids, and not for nothing, a lot of these kids turned down Division I offers to walk on. So they turned down a free ride to come walk on at Florida State. So
and compete for a scholarship. A lot of these guys know that Norvell, if
correct.
things are going well, you compete well, even if it's just in practice too. Preston Daniel, I mean, gets tons of playing time throughout the season.
Well, look at Dante Anderson.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's a walk-on that some people care about because of who he picked Florida State over.
Yeah. Your favorite team down there, Nate? Your favorite?
Florida, Miami, Arizona State, Oklahoma. He had big-time offers. What you can debate whether he's overranked in the recruiting rankings, whatever. But the fact is he had a ton of Division I, high Division I FBS offers. He chose to walk on at FSU.
Yep, and this is a good note here
Yes.
from Carol.
Yep.
Norvell was a walk-on.
Yep.
So he knows firsthand
So
how that's working.
He knows what it takes, man.
Well, today we got to learn that Florida State is going to allow customized jerseys. It's here. Players will be able to gain money, bring in money from those jersey sales, which I think is a pretty cool thing.
Good.
I mean, it's crazy. We're in 2022 and this is just now happening, but it's great.
How much money Dalvin and Jameis get off their jerseys,
And not even them.
3 years of, 3 years of number 4 walking around town,
Yeah, and you could point to Jalen. Jalen would have had quite a few. Telvin would have had a lot. Jernigan would have had a lot.
I mean, even back in the day, Dion,
Rashad Green,
Peter Warwick, Charlie Ward. I mean, imagine the jersey sales.
Just
allowed this from the beginning.
Yeah, and it'd be cool to see it just kind of how they do in the NFL, but track after a big time game, be able to track what happened after a game and say, oh, boom, there goes Rashad Green's. His jersey sales are right now.
Imagine Jameis after the first pick game.
Oh,
when you got Kevin Durant tweeting about him and all these people tweeting about him,
the clips,
it would have gone through the roof.
Yeah, everybody being like, "Oh wait, this cat really does have it." There was a lot of hype about him going in, but yeah, probably gonna have to grab the jersey. I mean, I know a lot of Florida State. My dad would. I mean, my parents would have definitely grabbed one, and definitely after the Clemson game too. Kelvin Benjamin, a number 1 jersey, Benjamin on the back. Yeah, that's probably flying off. I'd probably. For me, and if I could be a soul,
I would have got me a LaMarcus Shoney jersey.
Yeah, it's a dark horse right there. Yeah, then I'm a Timmy. I'd be obviously Timmy Jernigan.
I can't wait to see an obscure one. Like I want to see like
a walk on.
I want someone that was good, but like someone that has like no one's thought of in a while, like Buster Davis. Like I would love to see someone bust out a Buster Davis jersey.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can go back, and I guess you can. You can just customize your own,
or even Chris Davis, the receiver from those years,
or Bud Thacker.
Bud Thacker. Yeah, no, it's why we're in 2022, and this is just now happening. But it seems like the wheels are rolling in the right direction.
Long overdue.
And I think it's great, too, for family members, too, to grab their son's jerseys, buy them for the family and such, because, they're going to find different places to embroider them at and all this kind of stuff. That just makes it kind of just a one-way street. And
I hope we see it for basketball, too. Like, not just for Florida State, but just like for all of college basketball. There's a lot of fan bases that would eat that up.
True. Yeah.
I would
So,
assume this is the beginning of the floodgates kind of opening as schools figure out how to navigate it.
Yeah. We talked about this a little bit last week, but it seems like the wide receiver room is going to be probably one of the most fun ones to keep an eye on this upcoming spring. Gavin saying Winston Wright seems to be number one wide receiver. Do you think a transfer comes in and just rips away the number one wide receiver spot?
Yes.
I'm trying to think who would be in contention for that.
Did you see our receivers last year? Yes.
I mean, there's been a lot of positive talk about Wilson too the last week and a half or so.
And I mean, Pittman as well. So really all of those wide receivers that have come in from the transfer portal have impressed early on. And I think they're all going to fight to be in that rotation. You look at it last year, no receiver on Florida State's roster had over 400 yards. And I think it's the last 2 years, no receiver has recorded more than 400 yards, which, is just an indictment of the talent in that room and the way it's been developed over the past couple of years. But hopefully these four guys can come in and instantly impact that room. And it's good that they're already all on campus to help out this spring, go ahead and get into the system, start building cohesiveness with Jordan Travis. That should work out for Florida State by the fall.
One thing I won't ever try to jump to giving my guesses on who's going to be starting wide receivers is whenever there's workouts going on with no pads on, nothing going on there. Wait till I want some pads on a wide receiver so I can see their reach, how they're doing combating one-on-ones. That's one of those positions where things are going great toward duty. That's awesome. Moving fast. You're running through the cones left and right. Boom, boom, boom. Hips look great. You're able to cut well. But let me get some pads on. Pads, if you played football, changes things up just a little bit. You're not able to navigate as well. Some guys, some extremely gifted guys can.
I'd love to get some pads and go over pads with this Logan. It'd be great.
Yeah, you would get Mossa quick. You can't jump more than 5 inches.
He's sneaky athletic, dude.
You're getting moss. Not with all those chicken wings with sauce on them in your stomach, too. That's to keep your weight down.
I'd do it while I'm eating boneless wings.
Yeah. This is a funny question here. I mean, it's probably not supposed to be funny, but who really was wide receiver one? Asked Michael Carpenter.
Last year, Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson, but
Wilson.
It's not like you're like when you think wide receiver one, you're like, boom. Yeah, I know. I mean, but
we just
they didn't have a guy like that.
No.
Ontario Wilson is like a Rod Owens.
We did not name Greg Reed
he's
there.
a good.
Sorry.
Yeah, but Ontario Wilson's like a Rod Owens will have a game or two where he has a really good solid game. Puts up 5-6 catches and a score, but he's a good solid 3 or 4 for you.
Mm-hmm. Mendoza's bringing up a good point here. We didn't even say Greg Reed back in his day. That was like a fan favorite.
Yeah, he would have eaten off that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of these guys would have making some good cash.
Roberto Aguayo probably would have got him. You see a lot of kicker jerseys walking around.
Yeah, that would
you
be
probably
fun.
would have seen more D-Hop than you would have Aguayo, right?
There was 2 of them, though. So you could have worn the same jersey for 7 years.
That's true, but Hopkins had the gold shoes going for him. So he stood out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could get on to all these different kind of marketing things, some of these past players, maybe during the off season. But there's so many things that some of these guys, like Loco Ocho, when Timmy was doing his thing, man, there's so many cool things that these guys could have been doing. So many ideas.
I just wonder what the
give me a Drew Weatherford jersey.
I had a Drew Weatherford T-shirt back in the day. Shout out that.
But I'm wondering, how much of the jersey sale do the players actually get? Because you've got to think Florida State's probably get the jersey. Whoever's making
they probably get penny. They probably get pennies. I
mean, it's more than they were getting anyways. So,
yep.
I guess I would be pissed if it was 10% or something like that. It might. Who knows?
That's
I mean, it's probably less than that, honestly.
I'm thinking around that range, 5 to 10. That's what I'm thinking.
For what? Probably what do you guys think? $50 jersey, $99 jersey?
No, it's gonna be 120, right?
It should be.
It's gonna be like 120.
If they're stitched,
figure $130, $140.
Yeah, if they're stitched for $120.
And they probably get 2%.
They get more than 2.
Yeah, I think
that's Austin's rate.
All right.
That's Austin's
Hey.
rate. Damn, don't talk on Austin's right now. Come on.
What's your rate? 0.
Hey,
That's what I thought.
Hey, 2% adds up, bro. Yeah, yes, Bill. We have Boneless Buddies jerseys coming soon.
We do not.
It's a Boneless Buddies patch. It's like the conference.
Yes.
Yeah, the conference instead of the ACC there.
It just says BB.
Yeah.
Yeah. So BB in the left, upper left.
It's gonna be in the shape of a chicken nugget
near the clavicle.
Sports Illustrated in the right, and then number 1 for the number 1 podcast.
That's right. Number 1 in the world, right? I believe.
Eat a fat one. I want to see a big fat one.
What? I'm not on the screen, so I don't know who he's talking to. I'm not on the screen. I'm looking at other things.
I don't know what just happened.
Hey,
I said something inappropriate under my breath.
It was not under your breath. It was very much not under your breath.
well, I heard eat a fat one, so I don't know who that was to. I don't know if it's something I said. I never know. I never know. Oh man, have y'all seen the new renderings for the good old locker room?
I like it.
Seen that?
Like it, man.
You like
You
all
guys
the
see
white?
the gold face mask on the helmet?
That's just they always do that. I don't know why they don't ever update that. That's from 2014 when they did that. Jameis was wearing it.
Mhm.
Awful. But they when they do renderings, they don't really. I don't think care too much.
Yeah, I mean, I like all the white, man. You know, I don't really dig like dark locker rooms, man. You know, I think there's a little bit of like feng shui in it, right? Have a little bit of like balance and color and light to kind of make your mood better.
Yeah. I don't mind. I like white. We use a lot of white. That's our branding. So a little white and garnet. Hey, if they're trying to match NG.
The simple fact is, it's a football only facility, and I'll take it.
Exactly. I don't give a damn if it's pink.
Even if it was pink.
Garnet.
And one thing that Florida State has over Miami is they got a full indoor practice facility. Miami's only got half of a field.
Hey, give them their credit.
That's never going to change.
Yeah.
It's 48
Sorry,
yards.
This is so.
But it's 48 yards
so
with 2
laggy.
end zones. So
Can we get a zoom
Awful.
on that?
I know, right? This is like, why did websites do this? Like,
What do you mean zoom in?
I'm gonna try to
Scroll in
find
on
it.
your keyboard.
I am. I'm
You're on
trying
your
to get a little
laptop.
bit bigger.
Scroll in.
I'm going.
There you go.
I'm not on my laptop. On the computer. There you go.
Okay.
But this isn't showing the full lock. And here we go. This is where 6 national championships. This just came out of 6 BCS national championships. Where did that come from?
Florida State's going to be
That's
very productive when
that's
they have this facility,
Yep.
apparently.
That's foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. And the
There's a
BCS is coming
Heisman
back
Trophy.
again.
There's an extra
I'm gonna go
Heisman
ahead and book
trophy up
my-
there for. Shut up.
I'm gonna
mate.
go ahead and book my hotel room now for this
what?
year, man. Don't tell me
You
shut
do
up,
like
man.
booking things like
I'll
a
fuck the
year
shit out
or
of you.
2 in advance. So.
Where are you booking a hotel at?
Where the title
I'll
is,
stay
I
with
gotta
you.
Google it. No, I'd rather
I don't know.
cash it myself.
Gosh, Jesus. What? How did we get to that? I was going to ask you guys, Nate and Dustin, it's a question for you guys. Whenever y'all talk with recruits, do facilities really matter a lot to them whenever they end up picking Florida State, or is it wins? Which one is more here? Which one gets brought up more?
I think it's neither one. It's the coaching staff. I think I think that they mention, like facilities is for a lot of these kids, even the USF, the facilities are night and day compared to what they get to. A lot of these kids work out with rusted old weights, and so even the USF, no knock on USF. I'm just saying, even a school like that, the facilities are infinitely better. And a school like FSU, they mentioned that they like the facilities, they like the weight room. But one thing this coaching staff has made sure they've been doing is going over the renderings of the football only facility and what's coming and what's changing, which is something that's brought up because that does play a role in some of these kids' recruitment. But, more than anything, it's a relationship with the coaching staff and the energy and, the messages that they convey to them. It's not really wins and facilities that are causing FSU to land someone.
Yeah, like you said, Nate, I think the main things for most guys is their relationship with the coaching staff, how they fit into the program. For some guys, the success really matters, but for some guys, it doesn't. And then really when it comes to the facilities and the campus and everything, that's just a cherry on top of it, I feel like, for most recruits. But from the guys that I've spoken to this offseason so far, they've all really enjoyed experiencing the campus, getting to learn more about Florida State's history, getting to experience the weight room. And like Nate said, a lot of guys have seen these renderings for the football-only facility. They know what Florida State's trying to do here in the next couple of years to get this thing rolling, and they're excited for it.
I really like that white hallway.
Yeah,
that white hallway
looks
looks so nice.
Yeah, the lighting is the cool part here. I like these strips. It's kind of like the new renovations they did to the tunnel.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the white looks great. And this is a good shot of – there's been all different kinds of renderings, so I'm not defining this to be the exact thing of what they're probably going to do here. But different feel. If anybody's ever been in their locker rooms, you walk in really, and you've got about 4 rows. This one kind of compacts it, at least if it's this kind of view. Although you've got this coming back here, so this probably continues to go. But this is more of a feel of players being together, kind of more of an NFL type locker room.
Kind of reminds me of like a Georgia or an Alabama a little bit.
This up here I love. I absolutely love the Nike Spear, the updated one.
Yeah, so the new Spear is so much better.
Would you guys rather be the Spear or the Seminole Head?
Spear. I mean, they may have the Seminole Head somewhere else.
I would think they would still have it in the carpet somewhere. I would be shocked if this is the middle of the locker room. I would have that right here.
It doesn't look big enough for a middle of the locker room, to be honest.
No, man, because you can't walk on the Seminole Head. That's like right in front of the pathway. Come on.
Well, I'm trying to figure out where to put it. This might be a different angle that we're looking at here, Captain. This would be a gigantic locker room if this is just a third of it. What is it going to be back over here with waterfall coming down and like Chief Osceola with the spear coming out of it? I'm just spitballing, If FSU, if you need any help in there. Oh, Nate's and timeout. Welcome back, Nate. Good to have you.
Yeah, whatever.
Same feelings.
Is that better, Austin?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you were kind of the audio was off of your.
Nah, but I agree with Dustin. You can't put the logo on the floor, man. You can't disrespect it by walking on it, man.
No, but like I'm trying to say how they are right now in the locker room.
Stop saying.
I'm gonna come after you. I put on here bring up new hires real quick, and we're gonna do that quickly because there's, we put an article out. You guys can go read it. They did a press release, but Derek Ray was announced this week as the new general manager of personnel. Gabe Fertitta. Did I say that right, Dustin?
It's
Fertitta, isn't it?
Fertitta.
Fertitta.
They have it spelled in here. F-U-R-T-Ta.
Maybe I'll try it. Yeah, it's in the docket here. I just didn't read it as usual.
Right there on the screen.
Yeah, Gabe Fertitta is joining as a senior offensive analyst. We got Greg Moss coming in as a defensive analyst and Carol Moore as an executive assistant and office manager. If the Moore Center sounds familiar to you,
all three of those coaches have great experience and background. Just continues to add on and strengthens the off the field stuff that we talked about the last few podcasts. What you have to do to compete with the Tennessees. Even they're trying to load it up like Georgia. Even with Vanderbilt, who's trying to load it up like Alabama. Everyone is doing it now where you have to have as much support staff as possible. It's just part of the game now.
Yeah.
It's one of the main reasons why, Jimmy Pruitt left FSU is because how much stuff he actually had to do as a positional coach, coming from Alabama, where you had so many people, pretty much doing your job for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It allows you to focus on, player development and things that are important.
Yeah, and Norvell's done a great job. I mean,
Mhm.
I look at these guys coming in, and you really have to do your homework on them because Norvell obviously believes in them, and he's done such a great job of sending people out to get paid more. So whenever these people come in, it's worth noting on and reporting on because he's done a really successful job.
How many guys gotten paid this
coaching career.
offseason that have left FSU? Dustin, do you know? Like 3, 4 guys?
Kenny Dillingham, Trey Bell, Sabbath.
Mhm.
They had one of their recruiting staffers leave for a position at Akron. I believe he's the director of recruiting over there now. Levi Levy. Yeah, Lachlan wasn't here this year. He was here last year, but yeah, that's another one.
Yeah. Levy left,
and obviously Chris Marv
got
his promotion.
Yeah,
I think that might be it. Unless I'm
Kenny
missing someone.
went to Oregon, but I mean, probably getting.
But it's important. More. It's important to track these off-field hires because you look at Norvell's pedigree, and a lot of times over past stops, and even now at Florida State, when you look at Tokars and Atkins and Randy Shannon, he promotes from within. He brings in his talent, and then he grows it, develops it, and those guys become on-field coaches. When the guys he has now get promotions elsewhere, and particularly when I look at this one for Tita. He was a very successful high school coach in Louisiana, spent this past season at Louisville. So you get another guy with ties to Louisiana that should just only help out on the recruiting trail. We already know the kind of relationships that Coach Johnson has down there in the Boot State. So that should just continue to help Florida State out. And Greg Moss as well. Spent some time with Charleston Southern, and they had some really fantastic DBs this past season. I believe they got 14 or 16 interceptions on the season, and he's another guy that spent time at the high school level and should be able to help Florida State.
It's called bench strength, man. It's called bench strength. How many guys has Alabama promoted? Or you got to look at it that way. You can't just. Not every guy's going to be a big name hire. We understand that. Saban is the place to go to, fix your career. So, he kind of has that going for him. But I agree with Dustin, man. Norvell does a good job of picking out his coaches. His coaching tree is pretty solid.
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job.
We'll see what happens with Marcus Woodson because the latest rumor is that he's in contention for the Georgia defensive coordinator job? Or is it just the defensive backs coach job, Nate?
DB. It's going to be a must-champ for defensive coordinator there.
Yeah,
but still there. There's a little bit of smoke there, so
yeah,
we'll just have to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, it's like a little fog machine that you see in Halloween before you go give your candy away. Something small, something slight. Spring practice.
All I'm saying is if Woodson was to leave, there's a guy right now who is available. Terrell Buckley. So I could work with that.
We need to get T-Buck back on the pod. We need to work on that this offseason.
I'd jump on that shit in a heartbeat, dude. Those DBs will be coached up tremendously. You probably lose a little bit in the recruiting trail. That's not a knock on Woodson. I do hope Woodson stays because he's got a good future. And having that continuity is important. But if he, has a good opportunity, also, good luck to him on that. But I do hope he stays. I would love to see T-Buck at FSU in some form or fashion.
With the talent he was working with at Mississippi State during his time there and developing those guys, imagine what he could work with here and this talent that Florida State continues to bring in year in, year out. So, yeah. And you get bringing in another alum. I think it's a smart idea. We got the spring practice dates getting released today, at least for the starting First practice on March 5th on a Saturday.
We're here, man.
Makes sense there because I got a big recruiting weekend, but we finally have something to look forward to. It's less than a month. We don't have to say a month or over a month. Less than a month away from spring practice, one of my favorite times of the year, but that will be on Saturday, March 5th. The spring game is going to be on Saturday, April 9th. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago when that was announced, but this is also going to be a big-time recruiting weekend for Florida State. Mike Norvell
I'll be there.
And the staff. Where are you going to be at?
You coming up?
Spring game?
Yeah, I'm coming up.
My God. Cannot handle Logan out there.
For the spring game or
Logan's going to ditch.
March 5th.
Logan's going to ditch me and head to practice.
March 5th in the spring game.
What?
I'm coming to stay with you, Logan. I'm not staying with Dustin.
No, you're coming over to stay with Dustin. He's moving. He said he's going to move into like a bigger house.
I'm not staying with Dustin, dude.
Yeah, I'm in between houses.
Y'all are boneless buddies.
Dustin's got bad habits.
That's true. That's true.
That is true. Addictions, you should say, really.
Maybe he should stay.
Not even
maybe
that.
He should stay with you.
Just look at his wall. Still not.
Well, now that we're moving, I'm like, should I even change the wall? Like, just kind of gave up.
Yeah, you really worked hard. Yeah, you really developed
that one
rim.
picture up.
Hey, I put it up.
You still, let's look at this. You still have that picture that's right next to
I need
Bobby
to,
Bowden one. That's
space them out a little bit. But
you had a whole week to do that, and
he said, "Screw it, it's up."
You really just need a green screen. Just get a green screen so we can put some.
I've been trying to get Logan to buy me a green screen with just the No Game Day logo in the back or something.
You don't even need a green screen. You just need a little thingy to put up there. A little
thingy.
We need SI to send us some.
He complained about our like $40 Sonny's meal last night, and he's like, "Oh, he's doing calculations on his phone. Like, what's 20% of this? I got to tip 20% on the dot."
Hell yeah!
He's just
being nice. I'm being nice. You're trying to be like,
don't let this guy pick up the check because he makes you look like a cheap mother. You know,
I tip more than anybody else in that Sonny's ever has in probably 10 years. Lopes was like, "Damn, that was a lot."
Let's just start.
He was like, "Damn, that's not
Sonny's
shit."
is horrible.
Well, it was Logan's choice, and it was a
no, don't even start. Dustin loves Sonny's.
I said, "Let's go to the hot chicken place."
There's only one good thing
that
at
was
Sonny's
Lopes.
is tea.
I agreed with Lopes.
You didn't give any support. Jameis to Pittsburgh. I friggin' hope so. I hope so. Don't be silly.
I read something on Twitter today that they're eyeing Malik Willis.
Well, yeah, we can grab him, but he ain't gonna be starting next year.
Ouch.
He could.
No.
Who they gonna go with? Mason Rudolph?
Stop. That's exactly why. I'm
Dwayne Haskins?
No, don't want either of
You
them.
got to think whoever they get is going to be the quarterback, whether it's a rookie or not.
Nah.
Logan, weren't you excited for Dwayne Haskins at one point?
Yes, he was.
Not at all.
No.
I said he can come in to develop.
No.
Come in under Mike Tomlin.
No. We need to find that podcast. We need to
I
go
think
back.
there might be a tweet because I remember something, man.
He said, "I'm like, oh, he can sit behind Big Ben and learn, man." Blah 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 blah. You know,
He can. Let's see if he wants to run it up this training camp. Sign me up. But if Jameis comes in town, it's over. It's a wrap. That's what I want. I want Jameis to come in, and you get Malik Willis. Boom. You got a nice little. Well, that really wouldn't work out because I want Jameis to be there for 25.
I want Jameis to go to Denver.
No, who gives a damn? I don't watch no damn Broncos games. I could give a shit less about Broncos games.
Go to
I didn't
Denver,
know they played last year
because it doesn't matter because it's the Bengals division now for the next 12 years.
All right, move on. They're getting smoked on Sunday.
It's fact. It's fact.
We got to do Super Bowl predictions at the end of the show.
It doesn't matter if they get smoked Sunday. The fact is that it's their division now for the next 12 years.
Stop it. Well, you know that real well being a Chicago Bears fan, so I don't. I'm sorry for bringing that up. Florida State will hold a junior day on March 5th as well. Gentlemen, have y'all heard from any recruits on who's coming in town? We're going to be in attendance for that.
I haven't really started that list yet. You know, I know some other outlets have, but you know that list is going to be substantially massive. And I don't really want to sit here and report every single name that is going to be added to the list. You know, when it comes time to a couple weeks out, I'll generate the list and reach out to guys to get a firm answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been reaching out to guys, keeping track a little bit and kind of like a list for them. I haven't posted it
Nah.
anywhere yet, but some of the guys that I can just think of off the top of my head, obviously all of the commitments are going to be there. Chris Parson, Vondravius Jacobs, Randy Pittman, he's about 90% sure that he's going to make it. Lamont Green Jr. Outside of that, you've got some really big wide receiver targets. The surprising one, Brandon Ennis is going to make it in with his high school teammate, Santana Fleming, who we think is someone that has been leaning towards Florida State for a while. Like you said, Hakeem Williams. I think Tyler Williams is going to make it in. Jesus.
They need to get Jalen Brown there.
They're working on that.
No.
Last I heard, I haven't been able to confirm him yet, but Roderick Kearney will be there. I've confirmed with Lucas Simmons, and over on the defensive side of the ball, there's Ruben Bain. I believe Derwin's cousin is going to make it back. Jeremiah Anglin.
Yeah, I think Vickers will be there. Mekhi Vickers.
Yeah. Adam Hopkins, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
So there's going to be
the list is going to be substantial.
Yeah, and it's going to be across the 23 class, the 24 class, and the 25 class, and there's going to be a ton of guys. Probably, in January, it's kind of smaller weekends that they're bringing guys in. This one's going to be a big one. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 100+ names there.
And I was going to mention too, so when we were there with some of those visits going on, Kearney, Hopkins, two guys that have Florida State very, very high on their list, who have had them high up there for a while. Some of these guys, potential pop time, might be pop time. Get your popcorn out. These guys might be announcing their commitments maybe that weekend. Definitely with a lot of talent there, good vibes. You got to practice to go watch.
We gotta put this in the.
Don't put that in people's ear yet. We'll see.
Well, no. I'm just saying.
We got to put it in the.
I'm not saying that I got told anything at all, but
we got to put it in the doc there, Dustin. In that recruiting doc,
the secret doc.
So we can keep it posted.
True. Y'all
keep it updated.
This? Jermaine Johnson, Jashawn Corbin invited to the 2022 NFL Combine. Congratulations to those.
Don't understand Keir Thomas not getting the invite. I don't understand whatsoever.
Being slept on big time. And that shouldn't make sense, but Jermaine Johnson gets a lot of the spotlight as he deserves. But sometimes watching Keir Thomas last year, I mean, if you just watched him for a series, it was really fun to watch him. Just how he knew just how Jermaine Johnson was working. He just knew how to click and know exactly where that quarterback was going to run. I mean, I thought his pass rush was really something fun to watch. And someone's going to get a steal, but didn't get invited to the 2022 NFL Combine. Pretty messed up there.
Is that finalized? Is that finalized? Is done?
I think so. I don't know if like players cancel, they can't go or something like that, or they opt out if that lets in another player. But I don't know how that really works. But I thought that was a pretty big mess.
I don't know. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
For Keir, I thought he had a really good senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was one of the best pass rushers in the entire conference, right alongside Jermaine Johnson. And I mean, I would remember each week it would be Johnson and Thomas. Whenever Thomas was, healthy, right there at the top, and pressures, and not even just the conference, but also like college football that week. He had a pretty good year. I know he might have flown under the radar a little bit because obviously Jermaine Johnson is the star that people are looking at right now. But regardless, that's a guy that I definitely think is going to get himself drafted, whether he ends up at the Combine or not.
Dustin, we were talking about this earlier. Florida State's pro day expected kind of date, and you looked back at some of the dates the last couple of years, and I tried to say that it was a date that was after the NFL draft. So
Logan's like, the pro day is going to be in May. I'm like, dude, the draft is in April.
Oh, Lord.
Tough scene, tough. I'm not even drinking.
I mean, that's just how different FSU is. They had their own draft and their own pro day.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. Damn.
But FSU hasn't given an official date yet for the pro day, but I was just looking back at recent history to kind of get a gauge for it. And it'll probably be the NFL draft begins on April 28th. So Florida State's pro day, it'll be within 2 weeks of the draft.
Early to
maybe a
mid-April.
week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'll be in attendance for that to go cover that too. So we'll keep you guys updated if you hear anything. So got the spring dates given to us. So that's a good starting point. That's what we'd like to hear right there. What we don't like to hear, which is a beautiful transition, must I say, what we don't like to hear about is Florida State basketball right now.
I love hearing about it because the alignment is in process.
There's no stars. There's no alignment.
That gravitational pull of the universe.
Don't put me on the single
All right, stopwatch is on. 30 minutes starting now. Here we go.
30 minutes. Oh my goodness! What?
You have the tissues.
What is happening?
I've got a migraine. Does that count?
You got a migraine from watching that, huh?
Yeah, it sucks. There's a
sad, Austin.
That's funny.
What happened? I'm just putting on here. You know,
That's
just
funny.
ready for you to give us the rundown on what the F happened after we went to that Duke game, Dustin. I hope we enjoyed that. That is now a historical moment between you and I, which we don't know if we'll ever see that again. I'm being really dramatic. I'm being extremely dramatic.
This year's done. Like it's
a wrap.
It's a wrap. Put a bow on it, bury it, bag it and tag it.
Hold on, Austin, before you move on to that, are we talking even missing NIT now?
To me, just how banged up the team is, even if they got an
man.
NIT invite, I wouldn't be surprised if they declined it. The guys just need rest. There are guys like Raekwon Evans who understandably probably doesn't want to be there right now. He promised to be back in Montana with his family. And like half the team's hurt. Like I wouldn't want to keep playing games at this point, and they still have a month left, plus a game or two in the ACC tournament. It's just brutal. It's absolutely brutal watching this team right now. I think we all kind of understood once Malik Osborne went down, things are going to get a little bit different. Then Naheem McLeod and Anthony Polite go down, and that's it. That's it. It's over. This team has no way to score. Because at one point last night against Pitt, they were 1 of 7 on layups. If you're not hitting your layups, what do you want? As good as Mills can be, other teams realize, hey, he's the only guy that can create for himself. So let's just throw everybody at him possible. There was one play late in the game on Cameron Fletcher's 3 where Mills has a great drive, and as soon as he gets 2 feet in the paint, he's got 5 Pitt players around him. Like people know he's the only one that can score, so they're going to key on in him. Cleveland's confidence is shot. I've never seen a player that hesitates more on wide open shots and waits to be contested to shoot it. I don't really blame him because every transition chance possible, he gets a charge call instead of a block call, and that's on your mind. He airball a floater from 8 feet away. That's going to be on your mind. It's just rough going for this offense. And people point to the defense. Ithiel Horton had 7 3-pointers last night for Pitt. He'd been suspended since early December. It just came back this last weekend, and of course, hit 7 threes against Florida State. It's just rough to watch. It's really rough to watch. I wish there was a silver lining. Like at least the youth, the young guys are getting some experience, but they're just not playing well right now, and it's probably a lot harder to watch for some fans, but it's killing me.
It's rough. That is rough to watch.
Killing me, and I'm still going to Chapel Hill on Saturday.
That's right.
So they battled to that first place in the conference, and now lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, it's you get
it's
to
all injury related, man.
You win that game at Miami, and you're like, wow, this team might be turning a corner. 6-2 in the conference. You have this 5 stretch of games coming up where worst case should be 4-1, and you go 0-5. I would have never saw that coming. Never in my wildest imagination would I have thought we would have been 0-5 in these last 5 games, just given who the opponents are. They were all bottom half of the ACC at the time we played them, except for Wake. I guess Wake was still top half. But you're thinking worst case, you're 4-1 in those 5 games, and you go 0-5. It's brutal, just absolutely brutal.
Mm-hmm. Just crazy. The injuries have completely decimated this team, but at the same time, the freshmen, you mentioned Cleveland, but even Worley, I think John Butler has shown probably the most flashes out of any freshman so far this year. I don't know if you would disagree, but normally at this point of the year, the last couple years, Florida State, the freshmen are stepping up at this point and taking on bigger roles. You think back to the Dwayne Bacons, the Malik Beasleys, Jonathan Isaac, Patrick Williams, Scotty Barnes.
It was about this time in 2020 when Patrick Williams started really popping. Everyone's like, "Oh, this guy can hoop." That's when everyone started saying it was about this time, early February. It's just these freshmen aren't doing it. They keep making the same mistakes they're making in game 1. It's inexcusable, really.
What do you say to the people that are going crazy on Twitter saying we got to revamp the whole coaching staff?
I mean, I don't expect less from a football fan base that will never understand basketball. 2 years ago, UNC was 14-19. Last year, Duke was a 500 basketball team. Every program that goes through this, even Kentucky last year was 8-21. Like every program goes through this. It just sucks that it's happening right now, considering the success Florida State's had recently. Every program goes through it, and I'm not going to act like I'm not disappointed or not surprised. I mean, I'm shocked that the team's this bad. I picked them to finish second in the conference, and I was debating whether I wanted to put them first over Duke in preseason. It's just teams not living up to standards. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes guys don't develop the way you think they will. Sometimes guys take a step back. Like Anthony Polite, for much of the first part of the season, he was really struggling, but last couple of games, he seemed to find his groove, and then to now have wrist surgery, it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Brutal. Florida State's next matchup, like you had mentioned earlier, is UNC. You'll be there for that one, so I'm going to count that as an L since your streak now is at 0-6. Is it just 0-6? And you're including Notre Dame and Clemson football?
Yeah.
Austin, I'm
at LSU. I'm actually 0 for my last 7 because I was at the Georgia Tech ACC championship.
Oh my God! What did you say, Nate?
I'm gonna need Austin to stay home for the LSU game.
Yeah, he is not allowed.
What if I go and wear LSU stuff? Does that count?
Okay, what? I don't
know
that makes it almost even worse.
Why don't you make some cardboard cutout of you and mail it to Logan, and we'll take it with us.
He can pay for it. Since he wants them in my polo,
I'm paying for everything now. I'm paying for everything.
No shirts, no logos, nothing, dude.
It's unbelievable. I'm still waiting on my embroidery for my freaking windbreaker.
Hold up. One is no, you need the but that long sleeve is fly though. You can't lie. That long Nike.
It's too big. You keep sending me extra larges.
That's all they had. That's all they had, dude. That's all they had.
6'1", 170. I need a large.
You are short. I think I'm 6'2".
Short?
I'm 6'2".
You're 5'8". You're
not 6'2".
I couldn't relate.
Such a liar,
I'm 6'2" without shoes. 6'3" potentially. What depends
you're
on
not
how many
6'3".
the shoes are.
Someone pull up the picture.
You're like 5'8".
Yeah, someone put a picture of me, Los, and Logan. Me and Los are the same height, and then there's Logan in the middle.
Yeah, that angle was awful. I also was on like 3 shots of Hennessy, which I will never.
You get shorter when you drink or something?
I had 3. Yeah, the angle. I didn't know what they were messing with me. They messed with me. They told me like put your knees down or something. I was probably drunk, and I probably put my knees down like a little bit, and I looked shorter. They did that to me. It was messed up.
What do you mean put your knee? You got on your knees?
No, I did not get on my knees, Dustin.
Even Quez, who's there, was like, man, that dude's kind of short.
His drunk ass. Get him back on here and take care of that. Oh my God. But yeah, UNC on Saturday at 2 p.m. and then Clemson comes to Florida State next Tuesday night.
You think it gets to 7?
Oh, he's going. Yeah. This man's about to go 0-7. We got to do.
No, I'm already 0-7.
We got to do
no. I'm talking about Florida State streak.
0-8.
Well, let's just keep going after Clemson. Next Saturday's at Duke.
So that's 8.
Then that following Monday, you have to travel to Boston College, which Boston College isn't good, but Florida State's not either.
But you're not going.
That's a toss up.
Oh,
then
so I'm like at it.
That following Saturday is at Virginia, who just beat Duke in Cameron.
So what's Let's not talk about before. Let's talk about like recent when FSU has been the new blood. What's the longest losing streak underhand?
This is the
Probably it.
longest ACC losing streak, I think, since 2014 already. I can do a little research while we're sitting here.
I mean, you think it gets to 8 losses in a row?
I doubt it.
Ugh.
College basketball is just so weird.
There's gonna be one game where they win.
It's mostly. I'm hoping
Clemson
is
at home.
I'm hoping they're trading all of these losses for a win at Carolina or Cameron. Just for my own pride, because I'm 0-4 in those arenas. I would trade all these losses for a win in Cameron. To say you could be the last team to beat Coach K in Cameron Indoor, that's something you can hang your hat on.
It's going to take Harrison Prieto dropping 40 on Coach K's head.
So FSU
Watch
lost
out.
5 in a row in 2016. From basically the entire month of February, they only won 2 games out of 7.
Here we go.
So you're on your longest losing streak since then. Let's keep going and see if I can find anything else. Give me a second.
Very good. We're getting ready for the Super Bowl predictions.
Probably 2013. That's a year I would look at.
I'm looking at that now. It's a lot of lose 2, win 1, lose 2, win 1 that year.
And I just realized what happened in 2013 when FSU basketball wasn't that good.
I'm pretty sure Florida State won the national championship.
Okay, they were still, at least they went, they ended up 500.
Wasn't it arguably
they ended a little bit of 500.
college team of all
They lost
time?
to Southern Alabama at home in the season opener, Austin. That was my first game as a season ticket holder.
You want to know who else they lost to that year? Mercer, a really, really bad Auburn team. Louisiana Tech in the NIT.
Was that the year they lost to Yale or whatever?
No, you're thinking of the year they lost to Harvard in 2011, 46-41. That was a barn burner there.
Tough. We're having some exciting stuff here, everybody. Y'all just hang on. Exciting things are coming, I promise.
I think that 5-game losing streak in 2016 is the longest under Coach Ham in the ACC.
At least before you leave us, hit that like button. We're almost at 50 likes on YouTube.
There was a stretch in 2008 where they lost 8 of 10, but it was 3 games, then 3, then 2. Oh, another 5-game losing streak in 2007. Looks like 5 is the longest. Oh no, never mind.
Here we go.
Oh God.
1, 2, 3, 4. There was an 8-game losing streak in 2005 from February. Well, 8-game ACC losing streak. For some reason, they played UMass in the middle of this, so they lost 9 straight.
They lost to UMass?
78-68.
I guess UMass was good back then, right?
It was this is 2005. I wouldn't say they're that good because
was that around? But wasn't Calipari was there for?
No, he was gone by then.
Yeah, he was gone by then. Calipari was there in the late 90s. Shut up, Logan. They lost to a very average UMass team, 78-68.
Oh, sorry.
So that's the longest you're looking at is an 8-game losing streak in 2005.
I'm about to play in the arms of the Angels.
You should play it.
Stop, Dustin. God, no. I don't want to know
Sarah
the players
McLachlan.
of 1986.
No, that was the first year of Al Thornton. You had Von Wafer, Alexander Johnson. It's like there was players that just weren't that good that year.
Oh no. Patrick said this feels like one of those adopt a dog commercials.
Play it.
And I'm about to play the soundtrack.
We're gonna have to put Austin
I don't
down.
want to cry on the podcast.
That whole like 5-minute span there of the conversation will have that sad animal song in the background.
For 69 cents a day, you can get
save
Austin
Austin.
Veazey a basketball win within the next 2 weeks. Maybe.
Please. If we can beat Cameron and Duke, it's all worth it. Or beat Duke and Cameron, it's all worth it. I promise you. I will lose my mind if that happens.
And that's 1-800-313-4287. For just 69 cents a day, you can save a soul.
It'd also be pretty poetic if you can sweep Miami and Duke, but you get swept by Wake Forest. That's pretty poetic.
I like that you're still thinking basketball
kind of
season's going on. You're making
it is still going on. I got another month and then I'm free. I'm happy again in a month.
And you're free and happy again.
You know what happens in a month, right?
March.
Recruiting. recruiting interviews.
Spring practice, buddy.
Nope. In a month, I will be in Tampa at a concert, and after that, I am
Tampa for
you're coming through.
What concert?
Eric Church.
Oh God. I would say I'd come up and meet you. It's right down the street from me, pretty much. Not for some.
But Nate hates country music.
Not
for
for country music.
You ain't got to go to a concert.
Go hang out.
Are you staying
Go to his
there?
restaurant. Go to his
Yeah,
restaurant.
I'm staying at a DoubleTree.
Go get his wings.
Ooh, free cookie.
Yeah, Nate won't give you any free food, but you can get like a free piece of bread.
I'll give Austin free food, but not Dustin.
Nice. I need the food. He doesn't.
Thought we were boneless buddies, man.
Damn, I know, right? Damn, he's turning on his own jets. Turning on the jets.
Do you guys serve boneless wings at your restaurant?
No, we do not.
Oh. Are you not working to get that on the menu? Thought you're pretty high up on the command chain over there.
Nate's just trying to butter me up for
am,
shoes.
but,
that's what this is.
That doesn't fit our theme.
Nate's gonna only give you free food if you bring like a pair of shoes or two
Correct.
pairs of shoes, Austin.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's understandable.
Okay, a little fair trade there. I like that.
Shout out! Hold on. Shout out to one of our Discord guys who ordered through me on our website.
Oh wow!
Shout out my guy Andrew.
Andrew Bowden. Yeah, he's always in there. He's always trying to
order some shoes for me. He got them today.
I got a guy who wants to order for me too.
Go ahead, send him my way.
My barber.
Send him my way.
Look at this, doing business live on the pod. This is February 10th.
I'm always working.
Deep in the off season. Veazey doesn't stop working. If only he worked harder in his previews. Get this. If only he worked a little bit harder for his season predictions, because obviously that was way off.
I know you did not say work harder in my previews. You're the one that complains about him, never posts them. I got to beg for 6 hours. Hey, is the preview up? Is the preview up?
Well, I hate to tell you, but I feel like people get pissed off now if we post anything basketball. Really.
Hey, I don't care.
Now our Facebook copy now on social is like, we're sorry for posting this. We had to do this for our sad basketball writer.
The worst part is I saw Florida State. They posted like the final score graphic last night of losing to Pittsburgh. And then they did hashtag new blood, and people in the comments were just absolutely freaking out at them. And someone's like, "I'm so sorry, poor social media intern, that you have to see all this." Or something.
So someone replied bleeding, and I'm like, "That's funny." That's funny.
They are bleeding. They're hurt.
I don't work for Guthrie's, and we've already had this discussion. So if I did work for Guthrie's, I wouldn't sponsor some certain people.
Don't say it.
Super Bowl coming up. We got 3 Knowles in it. Auden Tate and the Cincinnati Bengals. Along with 2 Knowles on the other side of the Los Angeles Rams. You've got Jalen Ramsey and Cam Akers. How are we feeling about this, and who are we picking on this one? I know who I've got winning. I'm obviously not going to go for the Bengals. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I'm not going to do it. Then go screw themselves. Go Rams. Man, 2 Knowles, 2 guys that helped the brand at Florida State do their thing. Cam Akers and Jalen Ramsey, who had I can't say very and fantastic in the same sentence. Wonderful careers at Florida State. I'm going to go Rams for me. I don't know the score, though. I don't know if it's going to be high scoring or not. What do you guys think? Both defenses can play. Cincinnati takes a little while to wake up, but they can play defense.
With the way that the Bengals offensive line cannot stop any kind of pressure, they got to be concerned about that front line that the Rams have in Aaron Donald. I think playing in the Super Bowl for a championship, I think he's going to just be a complete freak the entire game. Like that last series that he had to beat San Francisco was just freaking dominating. I think he's going to play that the entire game. I think that's going to be an issue for the Bengals. But on the flip side, man, the Bengals just seem like they're destined to pull it off, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'll always go better defense. I think the Rams win something like 27-24.
It's kind of hard to go against Joe Burrow right now, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm still probably gonna end up taking the Rams, but it's just Burrow and that whole team is playing really well, and Burrow just has those guys, riding on cloud 9.
They can run the ball.
I mean, defensively, who would you take though?
I mean, I'm going to take the team that has Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, the best defensive tackle, the best corner in
Von
football.
Miller.
Would you take Jalen Ramsey shutting down Jamar Chase is a lot more likely than the Cincinnati Bengals shutting down Odell and Cooper Kupp? And
the thing is, the Bengals got good receivers. T. Higgins has been really good. I mean, Auden Tate's their 4th receiver, maybe 5th.
Mm-hmm. Jamar Chase. Yeah.
He's a solid pro. Like they got a lot of weapons. It's not
if
just
he wasn't
Jamar Chase.
If Auden Tate wasn't hurt, he'd be a 3rd, 4th. He'd be fine with Tyler Boyd for that.
I forgot about that. I knew I was forgetting somebody.
And I think it hurts them losing their tight end.
Yeah,
CJ Uzoma.
Yeah,
who said he will bathe in Skyline Chili if they win? Which, if you don't know what Skyline Chili is, it is
he won't have to worry about
factor in Ohio.
It's spaghetti and chili.
It's not good. I don't know. Like every Ohio, I'm gonna get so many texts from my Ohio friends that I'm blasting.
You got a lot of Ohio friends up there?
Bashing. I have a few Ohio friends. Not in what you're thinking, because I know you're going to say something after the podcast.
I was not, but now that you did it, I will now ask. I really wasn't.
I know a lot of people from that area, and they swear by Skyline Chili. It's just not that.
It is an Ohio staple. That and
Ohio
chili.
Northern Kentucky, that area, love it. It's disgusting.
My entire family grew up on Skyline Chili. Okay, my mom used to drive up because there's one down the street from my house now here in Bradenton, just to go to Skyline Chili.
Do you like it?
Not particularly. No, it's just it was probably good 20, 30 years ago. When it was smaller, and it just seems very manufactured and artificial.
It's like a chain now.
Yeah, and that's fine. There's a lot of good chains out there. It just tastes like cafeteria chili.
You can get it at Publix now. It's in supermarkets.
But it tastes like lunchroom cafeteria chili.
Yep.
Not so well. I got the Rams 31, Bengals 20.
No, it's gonna be close.
I'm gonna take the Rams 20-19.
Dustin, you gonna ride it all the way?
Yeah, I don't know if I've missed a playoff pick yet when we've been doing this. I might still be undefeated, and I'm a classic guy. I like watching adult cartoons. So the other day I was hanging out, and
you're a classic.
I was watching The Simpsons, just like a rerun on TV, and during the episode it flashed like the TV screen, and it said Cincinnati 31, LA, or Cincinnati 34, LA 31 in the Super Bowl.
Shut up.
So
did it really?
That's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go Bengals 34, LA 31.
Will the Simpsons strike again?
Joe Burrow gets the championship. We've seen this many times before.
Will the Simpsons strike again?
So
oh man, we'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun. It's gonna be I'm looking forward to the uniform combination is fantastic. So the colors are on point. I don't like orange, but at least this fits well with how their scheme is going for the game. Looking forward to it. Should be a fun weekend. And we got a big UFC too, Nate. Got a big UFC weekend ahead of us.
I just need to hear Jalen Ramsey just running his mouth after winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, I need that.
It's great for the brand. It's great for the brand. All rivals will hate every bit of it. I can use this leverage for the next couple of months.
Israel Adesanya is going to knock out Robert Whittaker in the third round.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a good one. And big boys, Derek Lewis and what's his name, going at it before that.
These are names I've never heard in my life.
Never heard of Israel Adesanya? Arguably the greatest
Veazey
UFC fighter
basketball.
Right
now. I couldn't care less about fighting.
Veazey watches basketball, Nate. You should know this.
Are there already women fights tomorrow?
And listens to country music, so
it all adds. I think Church is a great artist. I think he's a great artist. I think it's worth going down there. So, but
I couldn't name one song.
That's fine.
Austin can name 25.
I can name more than 25.
Okay, yeah, we gotta get off here.
When you see someone live a dozen times, you can name more than 25.
Is he your favorite?
Yes.
Didn't you have a picture of him back in the good old days in your background before you went into your closet?
Yeah, he's all right.
Oh, you said yeah. Oh, he admitted it. It's in his closet.
No.
Oh, I had that one.
He's still on my wall over there.
Oh, that's sweet. He's like right above you when you go to bed, right?
Aw.
No.
Good night, Eric. Tuck me in, Eric. I love you. Sing me a lullaby.
I hate you, Nate.
No, you don't.
We all
Not
love
getting
each
shoes.
other. No shirt, no shoes for another month now. You're getting close, but it ain't happening.
No, he wasn't.
Ah.
No, he wasn't.
All righty. Well, let's get out of here so we can get on with our weekend. Nothing really to look forward to next week. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to say anything anymore, but we're trying to work on some guests for you guys. It's just always takes a little bit of time. So yeah, hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button before you head out of here. Always appreciate everybody listening. We had like 16,
I just
17,000.
realized Dustin was wearing something besides gray. He's wearing a Celtics shirt.
Yeah, look at him.
What?
It's
What are
weird.
they? Eighth in the conference right now?
Yeah,
No,
I know.
they're six right now.
We are number 6, 6-game win streak.
Wow, look at
Made
that.
some good trades today.
He did. That Derek White
excited.
trade was nice.
They trade Marcus Smart.
No.
Nope.
Hope so.
Then they screwed
Best
themselves.
day ever.
They screwed themselves.
Now we get to keep him until at least June. So
Yeah, then he's gone. I think that's going to wrap it up. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. We'll get back with you guys soon on Thursday night at 8:30. Enjoy the weekend. And adios.
Mama told me not to sell word. 17.5, same color t-shirt. Mama told me not to sell word. 17.5, same color t-shirt. Mama told me not to sell word. 17.5, same color t-shirt. Mama told me not to sell word. 17.